So we're on part 163 now. Line 18A, 3z3b VHE, Y-ray signal crab pulsar velocity nuclear fusion NSTX 5G WOW SETI. There's 6 videos for this particular line of data for 18A, 3z3, and I've divided them from A to D. Okay, so here's your WOW radio signal. And March 8, 2012, 4:15 a.m. is when I was working on this particular part of data. This is my thoughts. The keyword rotation was found in the WOW SETI data. Again, you want to watch the last 2 videos before this one because that's where it starts. And we're looking at the rotation of how to rotate a UFO engine or ship that we want to build. So February 3rd, 2012, 11:27 p.m. My thoughts. Yes, I do jump around. I started today, March 8th is when I actually got around to this data. I started on February 3rd, okay? We are covering a lot of keywords in lines 18A3B about UFO engine force, velocity, spin, rotation, and terminology used in astronaut talk. Line 18A3Z2B2, neutrinos, fiber optics, obsidian, twist, 4 quarks, rotation, CERN, talks about rotating particles. Line 18A, 3Z2A, 3C3B, cold ultra-relativistic wind crab pulsar neutrinos 5G WOW SETI. It talks about the abrupt acceleration of a cold ultra-relativistic wind from the crab pulsar from F.A. Aronian, S.V. Bogolov, and D. Kagulin. I apologize, I'm having trouble saying your names. February 15, 2012, here's a graph that goes with that PDF. They got X-ray photons, target photons, pulsar wind, and we've got a mathematical equation. Here's the observer. And time profiles of pulsed emissions, Y-ray. Interesting, the Y-ray comes up here, and I didn't know what it means, and then I find it later on in the data. That's very interesting. I just realized that. Cool. Okay, so this is a figure of formation of the pulse VHE inverse Compton Y-ray signal in the wind of the crab pulsar. So A, geometry of the inverse Compton scattering of magnetosphere X-rays by the electron-positron wind. B is theoretical Y-ray light curves, other when presented together with the reported VHE data. So we have some theories here that came up. Okay. The velocity of the accelerated wind is 10 g. To the light cylinder, the direction of motion of electrons toward the observer is shown by the dashed green arrow. Here's your dashed green arrows. Okay. The interaction of electrons with the magnetosphere X-rays occurs predominantly at a distance r equals rw, where the wind is accelerated. Owing to the decrease in the target photon density with distance, the production of inverse Compton Y-rays is suppressed at larger distances. The target X-ray photon converted to a VHE Y-ray photon reaches the observer earlier than an identical photon emitted directly towards the observer. 2 factors contribute to the time shift. The upscattered X-ray photon is emitted by the pulsar earlier by a time of that. So you see there's pi there, right? And pi comes up in the WOW SETI signal. So where t is the pulsar period and it travels initial path length of, and cos comes up in the WOW SETI data too. So the time shift is negligibly small. Okay, so I'm not going to read all this because I don't understand any of it. But anyways, it's talking about a pulsar when a Y-ray light curve, and it closely resembles the shape of a measured X-ray light curve. Wind accelerated. I'm not going to read that either. Okay, see, I don't understand what this means, but it came up in the data. If you guys want to take a look at it, go to www.nature.com, Nature Journal, and look, or just Google the words VHE inverse Compton Y-ray signal. Again, all my notes will be posted on the Victoria Stafford A Psychic Investigation website. So you'll see the notes there, you'll see the links there, so feel free to take a look at the data. So the quote is pulsar co-rotation velocity equals the speed of light. And it carries away much of the rotational energy lost by the pulsar. So we're talking about neutrinos having the speed of light, and this is talking about a pulsar co-rotation velocity that also comes to the speed of light. So line 18A, 3Z, 2A, 5, NSTX, lithium PFC coatings, density graphite plasma, HEF, UFO, 5G WOW SETI. Talks about plasma rotation and NSTX. And then this PDF file came up with it. Nuclear fusion from John Coy Park. And sensitivity to air fields and NSTX high B plasmas. Just for the record, this particular PDF did come up earlier in the data. I was going through the data and found it somewhere else. I apologize. Because I'm over at 160 videos, of course, I've forgotten most of the stuff that I've done. So I've been working on this since December 2011. So if I do repeat myself, well, it came up in the data. So obviously it's important, right? There's all the people in there. So this is a deuterium energetic icon spectrum graph. Energy flux. Again, this came up. I don't know what it means or what we can use this for, but it's in the data. So the next is called the Wick rotation. This is found in line 18A, 3S4. Black hole super B infin bell to LHC CERN electron capture WOW SETI. That's the title of the video, just so you know. And this is the formula idea that I came up with. So we have a quantum field theory, plus an axiomatic formulations of thermodynamics plus Hilbert spaces plus Banach spaces equals linear topological space plus vector space plus Hilbert series. Quote, in physics, Wick rotation, named after Giancarlo Wick, is a method of finding a solution to a mathematical problem in Minkowski space. Of course, that came up a lot. In Euclidean space, another keyword that came up. And of course, I've probably told you this definition 100 times by now. So this transformation is also used to find solutions to problems in quantum mechanics and other areas. So quantum mechanics comes up again too. So there's a graph showing Wick rotation. A diagram of Minkowski space showing only 2 of the 3 space-like dimensions. I'll take a quick look there. I just did a refresher because, of course, I've forgotten what this stuff means. You guys are going to probably go, what? Yeah, I do have a brain injury from a car accident, so I have a very short-term memory, and I lose it quite easily, so I do review stuff quite often, okay? So mathematical physics, Minkowski space, or Minkowski space-time comes up. Talks about Einstein's theory, special relativity, used in these physics, and symmetry group of Euclidean space, Minkowski, and the Poincare group. That comes up again too. Time-like, space-like, again, those comparisons. So March 8, 2012, 4:39 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. My keywords combined from all this data about rotation. So what I've done is I've just pulled out all the words that I've seen through the WOW SETI videos, and I put them together into formulas. And it's up to you to figure out how to get them to work. Okay? So anything to do with the rotation of the UFO engine, which you have is shear force, velocity, spin, rotation, and rotating particles. Then we have a pulsed VHE inverse Compton Y-ray signal in the wind of the Crab pulsar. We have a geometry of the inverse Compton scattering of magnetosphere X-rays by the electron-positron wind. Then we have a theoretical Y-ray light curves of the wind presented together with the reported VHE data. Then we have pulsar co-rotation velocity equals the speed of light. Then an NSTX plasma rotation. And then, of course, I define NSTX, the National Spherical Torus Experiment. It's being built at Princeton Plasma Physics Laboratory to test the fusion physics. So basically, it looks like they're going to be trying to get nuclear fusion to work longer than a few seconds. So the next keywords are nuclear fusion is NSTX high B plasmas. Then we have Wick rotation. So we're going to take quantum field theory, add the axiomatic formulations of thermodynamics, plus the Hilbert spaces, plus the Banach spaces, which equals the linear topological space plus vector space but Hilbert series. Then we're going to add some space-time intervals between two events. We're going to have Minkowski space and Euclidean space. So my thoughts continue. Looking at all the keywords that stand out to me, you can see there's a pattern here for force, speed, space-time, and velocity. And the main theme is plasma rotation. So plasma rotation can perhaps sustain nuclear fusion for longer than a few seconds, as I've been told by comments. What I mean by that is I've been told I did not realize that nuclear fusion has only been achieved within a few seconds. One of the commenters let me know that. So I'll be looking for stuff, of course, data that proves that it can be longer than a few seconds. And I'll be compiling it for you guys as we go along, because nuclear fusion does come in to play with the UFO engine. Okay, so these are all the videos that have the data that are kind of combined in regards to all the formulas for this particular section. The formulas in this section are going to be in relation to nuclear fusion and plasma. Okay, each component of the engine, each thing that the engine needs to work is being studied piece by piece by piece. And there's the tags. Again, those will be in the video, and I'm going to stop this and we'll go on to the next one.